Alright guys, so in the last video I was showing you guys how to make an 808 line as well as a synth bass line, right? So depending on what approach you want to have for your beat, you can use both or you can use either or. It's whatever you want, whatever makes sense and whatever feels good. I use both the 808 and the synth bass in my videos. I also use them in my beats. So last video, what I did was I used the 808 line. Let me see what we have here. Alright, so I have that 808 in the hook and in the verse. So in the verse, I start with the synth bass to kind of start that off. And then when I'm about to go to the second part of the verse, I'll go back to that 808. So that's when the hi-hats come in. Yeah, that's hitting. So when the hi-hat comes in and everything else, that's like a B section for the verse, right? So I use both the synth bass and the 808s. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to use Arcade, right? So it's a plugin that you guys can download, and you could get a bunch of loops that you can make on this, depending on whatever sound you're looking for. You can get guitar loops, or actually you can make them. You can make guitar loops. You can make vocal loops, Vox loops. You can make different melodies, whatever you want. Alright, so I have here my guitar sound that I want. So you guys can play around with it. You guys can look for the sounds that you want. So you go to lines, right? It has a whole bunch of different things here, right? These are for vocals. I don't want anybody else. Alright. Drip, I use this for some of my melodies. Honey. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you guys could use to make your melodies hit harder. So if you click here, top left, click on home, right? It'll give you all the instruments that you want, the functions, the genre, and all that, right? If you click on guitar, so today I want to make a guitar loop. I have all my guitar sounds here, right? So I can click here to get a preview. Right, so Lazy Sunday is what I want to use, right? So I click on it, and here you can change the keys, right, at the bottom. So if I'm in B major or A sharp minor, I'll adjust the key here and it'll give me the loops. Alright guys, so every note that you press, so every note on the keyboard, right? All of these notes, they all have a different sample. It's a small snippet, and you can make your own loop, right, with the different sounds. So let me see here. I kind of like that. All right, so this is what I'm gonna use. So I got 3 different parts for that one note. So let me just use the first 2. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so after I record that, let me record that. Alright, got my loop. So right here, just synchronize that, and I got my loop here. Alright guys, so I'm missing one note here. So I have a gap here between my next bar, right? So I'll probably add, let me extend this. One more note. Let me see what that sounds like. Alright, so yeah. Okay. Perfect. Alright. So let me turn this into a wave file. Alright. So I freeze the track and then I flatten it to make it a wave file. Instead of having all the bars, now I could break it up if I want to. I could stretch it. Whatever you want to do to a wave file, you can do it. This makes it easier, right? So this is gonna be my whole guitar loop right here. Cool. Alright. So I want to edit the sound, tweak it a little bit, give it a little flavor. Instead of making it sound so dry, one thing I do is I add a chorus to the sound. And then I add my RC20. Right? Alright, so let's see what it sounds like. Alright, so that's my guitar loop. So I'm gonna put that for the entire duration of the beat. Now let's see how the beat sounds with it. So that's how I make my guitar loops. If I don't have an actual guitar player or actual guitar loop, I know when it comes down to copyrights and all that, it becomes challenging and a little complicated. So use Arcade. That's how you use Arcade to make your guitar loops. Alright, so there's a bunch of different samples that you can use and combine to make an actual guitar loop. So this is one of them. This is how I did my beat. So I added the guitar loop that I made. Now it has a lot of flavor. Alright, so if you got any questions, just let me know.